Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, Wooden Railway Adventures, Episode 208, Scruffy's Sweet Tooth. Harvey was busy bringing the damaged trucks from James's crash back to the yard. "Whoa, what happened?" asked Fred. "That freight car is destroyed." "James derailed and took a couple of cars with him," replied Harvey. "I don't know the details, but it looks like he simply lost control of the heavy load." Harvey meant well with his comments, but the trucks took them in a much different way. "James still can't pull cars right," they laughed. "We crashed him back then and we're still crashing him today." Scruffy smiled. "Well done to those trucks," he said quietly. "Do you think now would be a good time for a rebellion, Fred?" "I think so," he replied. "Word on the rails is that Sir Topham Hatt's pretty concerned about a pirate that's causing him a lot of trouble. We could easily start some confusion and will likely escape severe punishment because of that distraction." "I say we do it," shouted Rickety. "James is just the beginning. Soon every one of the engines will be finding themselves off the rails." The trucks cheered loudly. "The crowd has spoken," chuckled Scruffy. "All right, let's get started on a game plan, shall we?" And the trucks began to put their thoughts into action. The next morning, Sir Topham Hatt addressed the engines at the sheds. "James has been taken away to the works," he said sternly. "He'll be back soon, but we must be vigilant. Based on what he told me, he believes that Sailor John purposefully crashed his train and intended to catch it on fire. We must not let this happen again." The engines were quite worried. "I guess no engine is safe," said Toby. "We must all keep a watchful eye out for anything that seems suspicious." "Precisely. Please let me know if you catch any sight of this terrible pirate. We must put a stop to this at once." But instead of comforting the engines as he had intended, Sir Topham Hatt's words only sparked fear in their boilers. "He could be anywhere," shouted Douglas. "Sailor John will stop at nothing to bring this railway down. Double check your coaches, watch your passengers, make sure nobody's been tampering with your brake lines." The engines were so worried that they could barely function and complete simple jobs. The yard was a mess, and the trucks were loving all of the confusion. "This is our chance," said Rickety. "Nothing can stop us now." Scruffy was patiently optimistic. "We'll get 'em good this time. They'll never see it coming." Eventually, Stafford brought the train to the station, and he placed it at the wrong platform. "These aren't coaches," said the passengers. "What is going on today?" Just then, Thomas puffed up. "Oh, joy. Guess I'm taking trucks today." He was so preoccupied that he didn't notice Annie and Clarabelle at the other platform and presumed his train had been changed. "Let's get this over with," he muttered, and he pulled the cars away. The trucks couldn't believe their luck. Here they were, right in the midst of planning their biggest crash yet, and they had scored the most popular engine on the railway. Keep calm, muttered Fred. "If we can get Thomas off the line, this will be huge." But the trucks could barely contain their excitement. "Wait for my signal," whispered Scruffy. "We've got one shot at this, and we don't want to waste it." Eventually, Thomas made his way to Ulfstead Castle, but was forced to stop because there was a cow on the line. "Ugh, will you please move?" he pleaded. "I don't have time for this today." But the cow completely ignored him. "Hey, Thomas," said Rickety, "have you tried asking it to move?" The trucks giggled hysterically. Thomas didn't find it funny and was uncoupled to go find Toby. "All right," said Scruffy. "When Thomas gets back, we push him right off the track. No more waiting. We're just going to go for it." Suddenly, Bulgy the bus pulled up, and out stepped Sailor John. "Who's pulling this train here?" he asked. "And why are you running late?" "It's Thomas's train," said Fred, "and we can't move because there's a cow in our way." Sailor John looked around crossly. "Of course something silly like this had to happen to keep Thomas from showing up. I've been waiting for him, and I even set up a... You know what? Never mind. I'll try again some other time. You trucks probably don't even care, do ya?" "We love tricks," they squeaked. "Tell us more." How about this? I'm in the need of some help in order to finish a job. I've been digging out some valuables from inside of Ulfstead Mine, and have stumbled upon some precious jewels and things. But I found more than I can carry, and I need some trucks to help with my great escape. "Hey, I know who this is," said Fred. "This is the pirate guy everybody's been talking about." "Yeah," agreed Rickety. "I recognize his voice. He sounds like a pirate." Sailor John rolled his eyes. "You sure are a bright bunch. Anyway, can I count on your help in a few days or so?" But Scruffy was hesitant. "What do you mean by your great escape? Where are you going?" "I'm getting off this terrible island," he said. "I came here to find treasure, and now that I've got it, I'm leaving." "You can't do that," protested the trucks. "You're causing chaos for all of the engines." "Oh no, I'm getting out of here if it's the last thing I do. But I still need some trucks to help me out. What do you say?" But Scruffy and the cars weren't interested. "We need you to stay," he said. "My friends are right. Your time is better spent causing trouble here." "Like I said, I'm not staying. I need help getting out of here, and you all would be the perfect crew." "Then there's no deal," shouted Scruffy. "We aren't going to work for someone who's going to reduce the amount of turmoil on this railway." "I suggest you change your mind," said Sailor John, "or else I'm going to..." But just then Dennis rolled up. It's so annoying when engines leave their trains on the line like this. Guess I'll have to be the one to finish the job." And he coupled up to the cars. The trucks didn't know what to do. "What's the plan, Scruffy?" whispered Rickety. "Should we wait for Thomas or take it out on this engine instead?" "This is our chance," he replied. "It's now or never. Let's go!" As soon as Dennis started up, the trucks pushed hard against each other. The train rapidly increased speed, and Dennis flew into the castle grounds. He rounded the bend and shut his eyes just before he impacted some cars at the Sodor Sweet Shop. Candy spilled everywhere, and the trucks laughed and laughed. "That's it!" shouted Scruffy. "It's about time you engines got your just desserts! Ha ha ha!" When Thomas heard the news, he quickly rushed over to survey the damage. "I'm sorry I didn't return sooner. I couldn't find Toby or Mavis to get that cow off the track." "You don't deserve this, Dennis." "Well, better it be me than you," he replied. "You're the #1 engine. I'm just some random diesel that nobody cares about." Thomas was quite upset with what had happened. Lately, it seemed as though anything that could go wrong on the railway was going very wrong indeed.